In this video, I'm going to go through the latest version of our video automation system, which I've built on Make.com and Airtable. This system is ideal for anyone looking to create video content for social media or for YouTube at scale. And there are a number of improvements on our previous build. The new Airtable interface makes it a lot more app-like and less spreadsheet-like to use. And access to this could be provided to a client if you were selling this as a service. The Make automation scenario now runs entirely on webhooks. So all going well, you should never have to log into Make once this is set up. We have buttons within the Airtable interface to trigger the Make scenario automatically, while third-party services can also trigger the scenario automatically when they have successfully rendered their assets. Even though this system works entirely on webhooks, you don't need a paid Airtable plan. It still works on the free plan, which is great. And from a workflow perspective, I've dropped in some easy to use regenerate buttons so that you can regenerate images and regenerate videos. As we all know, it can take multiple attempts and multiple tweaks of prompts to actually get the right images and the right clips. This version now uses the official LumaLabs API, which wasn't available when I created the system initially. We've upgraded the image gen to Flux 1.1 Pro Ultra using replicate.com. Suno still doesn't have an official API, so we're using the Go API for that, and that's upgraded to version 3.5. And for AI voiceovers and captions, we're still using LumaLabs and OpenAI's TTS. And all of this is stitched together in engaging templates using the Creatomate platform. As before, the full system is available within the AI Automators community, so you'll be able to download the blueprint for the scenario and copy the Airtable base so that you can quickly try it out. Links are in the description below. This is quite a complex scenario. If you would like me to shoot a video where I build this module by module, then just drop a comment below and let me know. Also, I'll soon be adding Runway ML and Cling to the system, so make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to get notified of that. So let's have a quick look at some of the videos that I've created using this system. This blueprint allows you to generate videos at scale, but it's all down to having a very creative and engaging template, and then the system can dynamically populate that out. If you're not a designer by trade, then a good idea is to look at Canva and find a template that you like there, and then look to recreate that in Creatomate. I've created a few templates here to give you a sense of the potential with a system like this. Here's one for e-commerce. So an e-commerce store that wants to put out a weekly video for new products that are listed. So this is animating still images, but real life images. Probably the last shot is a little bit more obvious that is the case. But it works pretty well. Like, these are just still images that are animated. So yeah, I think that's quite impressive. Another template I created here is promoting blog posts. There's the full render.
Is working from home making it hard to stay productive? I've just shared 3 practical tips to help you boost focus. Tip number 2, it's all about setting boundaries. A small change can make a huge difference. Link in the bio.
Yeah, so you can get the idea there. Again, some kind of dodgy LumaLabs videos that need a little bit more iterating on, but also use stock videos as well. You know, this system is flexible enough that you can just upload your own. But the idea there is to push people to click the link in the bio. A good example of kind of automated captions and using AI voiceovers. So here's a few real estate examples. So yeah, we have primary text and secondary text. This is all LumaLabs and Flux 1.1. And a nice shot there of the front yard. You can hear the Suno soundtrack in the background. This is just a short, engaging video. It starts with a kind of an intriguing question to get users engaged and hooked. And this opening scene is actually a LumaLabs animation of the initial image. So I'll just start that again. And it's just a slow pan in on the front door. So the other template I created for real estate is more of a long form YouTube. But again, yeah, so the template's created on Creatomate, some nice transitions, nice pan across to make it a little bit more dynamic, automated pulling in of key features of that listing as well, and then it finishes up with a nice brand shot of the logo. If you want access to this Make.com blueprint so that you can import it at the click of a button, as you can see here, and as well get a copy of this base that you can import, then check out the link in the description to our community. So there's full detailed instructions on how to actually install this. We have a full migration scenario because migrating scenarios with lots of Airtable modules can be quite tricky. And then you can also get support on setting this up and running it both in the comments here, as well as our weekly workshops that run every Thursday. You'll be able to join and get help in real time from both myself and Alan. We'd love to see you there, so check out the link in the description. The final template we have is more for the likes of travel bloggers or tourist agencies that are promoting different things to do in different locations. So what we'll do here, well, let's click on create new video, and we'll put it in top things to do in Hawaii, and then we'll click create video. So video created. jump into the video list. And then once we're here, you'll see we have all these actions, but there's nothing actually here. There's no scenes, there's no music, there's no renders. So for the purpose of this one, we're just going to get AI to generate everything. So if I click on generate scenes, you'll see that this is going to jump up here, generating scenes. And this is using GPT-4o, and the scenes will auto-populate in this section. And there you go. You can see that they're coming in here. And there we go. 6 different shots or 6 scenes for this kind of social reel. So next stage then, actually, if I click on one of them, for example, surf the North Shore, catch epic waves, we have an image prompt. We also have a video prompt. So if I X out of that and then click on generate images, it's going to send all of those scenes to Flux One Pro Ultra. And then you can see the replicate task IDs are dynamically kind of populating out there. It's going to send that image prompt, and then the images are going to come back into the system. And there you go. You can see that they're starting to be created. That is incredibly realistic, actually, the Volcanoes Park one. Nice. That's great. And there we go. Surf North Shore. Wow. Flux 1.1 Pro Ultra is incredible. Have a look at that. We're rendering 9:16 because the format of this video template is 9:16. That looks amazing. I want to move to Hawaii. So now we have our images. What we're lacking are video clips. So we're going to push this through LumaLabs to generate kind of animated clips that we can then stitch together into our template. So if I click generate, it's going to go off to LumaLabs and create them. And then the minute that LumaLabs is finished generating, or dreaming as it's called, it's going to ping the same make scenario and save the clip then to Airtable, and it'll appear here. Okay, we have our first clip. So let's jump into here. Okay, we'll press play. Very good. Yeah, it actually ignored the video prompt, which is probably for the best. And yeah, it's just a little bit of a kind of a push in on the shot. Yeah, kind of loses it a bit towards the end. Some fish disappear into the water. So yeah, this is clearly kind of a difficult shot to kind of animate. Usually for image to video, oh, that's pretty cool actually. Yeah, that's really cool. He kind of changes shape halfway through all of that. So yeah, you get the idea. Okay, let's use those. I think for an actual client, you probably would go with the images. I think they're really high quality. Image to video has a long way to go, I'm afraid. Oh, we forgot to generate music, so let's click on that one, generate music. Okay, the audio track is generated. Let's have a listen. That's not bad, yeah. A bit bland, but you get the idea. So to render this out, we do need to select a template, social media inspirational listicle, and then that's it. Let's do a preview render first, and then we'll do the full render. So you'll see renders down here, and preview render should generate very quickly. There you go, video successfully created, and then you can see it here. Now it's only a preview, so it's about 25% of the size of the full version, because you don't want to burn too many credits while you're in the process of kind of tweaking the video. So let's have a look at this one. Okay, so you can see that the preview is a lot smaller. We'll press play, surf North Shore. It hides the surfers, probably a good thing. That looks great. So, okay, let's render out the full video now. So generating full video render. It usually does take a bit longer than the preview because obviously there's a lot more pixels to generate. Okay, so video successfully created. And then you can see the status has changed to complete as well. There we go. Yeah, still pretty good actually. The little errors and issues in LumaLabs aren't massively obvious. I suppose they're very fast transitions. It's fast paced. So yeah, that's not bad. If that was on your feed, I don't know, would you actually realize that you're looking at a kind of an AI image and an AI video? So that's it. That's the full kind of end to end on how you generate videos. That video then appears in this list. It's as complete. So if you can filter by complete, it's there. You can see what's in progress. Then the templates, I went through various different templates there, and all of those are available here. So you've now seen the full kind of Airtable interface on how this kind of mini app has been stitched together, and there's the kind of the workflows through it. Let's just look at the back end of the interface. So this is the data tab within Airtable, and this is what you'd be a lot more familiar with. We have a videos table here, and essentially this is the kind of coordinator. So there's the video title, it's linked to a template, which I've shown you. We have system feedback, so anything that happens in make.com in terms of kind of feedback to show on the front end of the interface is populated here. Then we have different buttons to trigger different actions within the make scenario. So for example, generate scenes. If we look into this, it's simply just a button that opens a URL that hits the webhook, and we're passing in a record ID, and the action is to generate scenes. So it populates out, 5 or 6 different shots or 5 or 6 different rows here. And it's providing kind of primary text, secondary text, the image prompt, the video prompt, etc. It's linked through to the video, so that's kind of the connection between the two. And then you have kind of more buttons here, and this allows you to kind of regenerate images or regenerate videos if you're not happy with what has been kind of produced. So that's the system end to end, generating scenes, generating music, generating images, generating clips using the image to video models, generating the full video based off Creatomate's templates, all kind of triggered by webhooks from Airtable, but then also third-party services also come through this gateway where we actually save everything to Airtable as well. Single scenario runs this entire automation. So let's create a new video, and instead now of watching it from the interface, let's watch it from the actual scenario and the back-end perspective. So click on create new video, top things to do in Cork. We'll create the video. And what that's done is if we go into videos, we now have top things to do in Cork. There's no template assigned to it. So if I come back in here, video list. So like we can assign a template now, let's say social media listicle. That has now added that there. And then as easily as I can click create scenes here, I can also do it here. Click on generate, then jump here. Now you can see it's flowing through, and then it's going to go to GPT-4o to generate an engaging kind of script and scenes for this kind of 10, 20-second reel. And we're also getting it to generate kind of image prompts and video prompts based off best practices that I've populated out there. And then we're also getting it to provide a very structured response. Okay, and that's finished. And now it's creating six different scenes, and then it's updated the main record. So come back in here to scenes. Now we have the 6 records. Discover Cork's Charms, Blarney Castle, English Market, Fitzgerald Park, etc. So of course you can tweak the prompt if you wanted. If you weren't happy with the output from GPT-4o, you could also put in Claude there as well. Claude probably will be better actually in terms of scripting social media videos. It tends to have kind of more engaging text generation than GPT-4o. So that's an option as well. So that's how these scenes are generated. So then next up, let's have a look at generate music. So just to quickly look at the music table, it's made up of audio prompts. There's an audio task ID. So we're using Go API, which is an unofficial kind of gateway into the Suno system, because Suno doesn't have an official API yet. So that would be the Go API task ID. You would need to set up a Go API account to access Suno, but that's kind of straightforward enough. The audio track is then saved here. There's a selected track. So if you have multiple music tracks per video, you can choose the best one. Then you have a connection to the video itself. Okay, so let's trigger the generate music, and then you can see what happens. So we'll come back to our video. Top things to do in Cork is there. We click generate, and now it's heading off down that track. Yep, it created the request into Go API. So that was ridiculously fast. I missed it. So now I've just turned on watch webhook because we're going to wait for Go API to come back. We have sent the request to Go API to generate the music based off the audio prompt. Then it might take Go API 1 or 2 minutes to generate that track. And there you go. It's actually just come back. And here we've gotten this webhook. It's from the model is Suno. It's from Go API, and it's provided clips, which you can see here. So we're getting URLs, audio URLs to download, and then we're just saving those to the Airtable. So if we come back in here to music, top things to do in Cork, and now we have this little icon. And if you click on that, there's the music track. So that's pretty much how the generate music works. So it's a really nice architecture to actually have a single webhook entry point and then to do different things off the back of it. I've set source here for Airtable to go off that way, whereas if Go API are providing a response, we can send them in this way. So then for generate images, let's come into scenes. We have our 5 scenes that GPT-4o has generated for us, but clearly we're lacking images here. So I come in here now, let me just press play again so we can track this. And if I click generate images, it goes off here, and then you can see it's running through and it's pinged 6 times the replicate API, and the scenario is processing constantly to save those images. So if we come into here, like it's really fast. Like there you go, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images have already landed. The 6th is probably on its way, and that one is running there. So within kind of 30 seconds, it was able to generate those images and ping them back to make, to update Airtable, and just have a quick look at them. Wow, that's really impressive actually. The text is a bit off, but that is actually something a designer would create as opposed to a kind of a realistic image. Yeah, that's like clearly not a real image, but that's very impressive. Blarney Castle doesn't exactly look like that, but you get the idea. Text needs some work clearly. I'll actually show you this now. So clearly we have an issue here where the style of image isn't ideal for a reel. So in this case, for example, let's have a quick look at the image prompt. So bust in English market. The prompt is okay. I might just regenerate it on the fly. So if I just click generate/regenerate, what it's going to do, yeah, there you see it. A new ID is kicked in. It's going to overwrite this image now with the new image within kind of 30 seconds. And there we go. It's landed. And let's have a look. Brilliant. Yeah, that's much better. And even the text is correct. Well, some of the text is correct. And I have been to the English market and it does look like that. So brilliant. Let's regenerate this one as well. So clearly this is an interesting image it's generated, but it's not what we're going for. There we go. Vibrant collage of iconic Cork landmarks like Blarney Castle. So a collage is the problem there. It's going to produce something similar, I'd say. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that is a really good collage. I might leave that one. Why not? Okay. You could update the prompt anyway and get a different kind of image from the system. That is the Fitzgerald Park, which is a UCC and Cork nightlife. Brilliant. We have images. And you've seen what's happened there. So this generate images track, it comes down here. And if it's at a video level where you're clicking generate images, then it goes the multiple images route where it gets the records and generates them all and updates the records. Whereas what I was doing there, I was clicking the generate/regenerate button, which is a one-off, and then that's going down this track, single image, hitting the Flux 1.1 API and replicate, and updating the record. So it's doing the same thing, just if there's multiple, it goes that way. If it's single, it goes this way. But either way, what's happening is replicate, when it finishes its job, it's pinging the web service, and it's coming down this replicate track, and then it's updating the record, saving the image. So really nice. So next up, let's do generate clips. And now you can see we're down here, and there we go. We're into a random delay, and that's what I was saying about how a lot of these image to video kind of endpoints, they're not as hardened as the likes of the replicate one. If you ping through 6 kind of images as fast as we did with replicate, 4 or 5 of them might error out. So you do need to kind of throttle it a little bit. I put in a kind of a random throttle here at 9 seconds there, 15 seconds there. So it's between, I think, 5 and 15 seconds. But you can see here it's pinging the API and it's providing the image as well as providing kind of the video prompt. So the video prompt here, so let's say for the Fitzgerald Park one, family strolling in Fitzgerald Park, children playing, ducks gliding on the pond, soft transitions between scenes, creating a relaxing, continuous flow. And great, we already have a video clip back from Blarney Castle, so let's have a look at it. I'll play it. That's not bad. Yeah, like I think the people appeared at the very end, but yeah, the more conservative these animations are, the better, I think. Another one here from UCC, and yeah, nice kind of push in. That looks kind of weird at the top. And just to demonstrate the kind of regenerate again, let's just remove this video prompt completely and just say kind of slow motion pan from left to right. Let's just see how that works. So we should get our task ID in here after the delay. And because I triggered a single clip, it's going to go down this track to generate the image. So there we go. There's the task ID. The other thing is image to video is expensive. So it's about 40 US cent per clip that I'm generating here. So it is expensive. Runway is a bit cheaper, I think, at around 25 cents. I think Kling is around 30 to 35 cents. So it isn't cheap to do this. So from left to right, it's created another castle. Oh, that's good. So that's the clip. Finally, we're on to the rendering. So the first thing you need to do is you need to create a template on Creatomate. So you can see the templates that I have here, they have corresponding templates within Creatomate. So if I jump into this one, for example, you can see that this is the e-commerce kind of new arrivals template. So whatever kind of video you want to generate, you need to create a template that has placeholders that can then be dynamically populated by the system. So if you look at this one here, for example, you see these icons that says element is dynamic. Our system is able to dynamically put in new audio, new images. The text, for example, doesn't have dynamic set, so that will always say new arrivals. If you wanted the system to populate text into this box, you would have to set that as dynamic, and then it needs to be mapped to a field. So the way that's done then, so let's just create a new template. They have example templates that you can use and you can build off. So for example, this short form voiceover one here, let's actually use this one. Okay, and I'll just simplify this. I'll just get rid of all of that, and we'll just have, let's go 1, 2, 3 different images. Even let's get rid of the voiceover and the subtitles, just to give an example of how this works. Then we'll set duration. So we want this one to be 3 seconds, this one to be 2 seconds, this one to be 4 seconds. So that automatically saves anyway. So you would copy out this Creatomate template ID. When you come into templates, you create a new one, which is this is our test template. And we'll say the format is 9:16, I think, isn't it? Yeah. Then you put in the Creatomate ID. Videos you can ignore. You can drop in a preview if you like. I put in previews just so that I can kind of tell the difference between the templates. So you can just take a screenshot and drop it in there. I would just copy out this entire URL and put it into this Creatomate template field. And that's it. So that's all you need in Airtable to connect the template. However, you do need to make a change in the automation itself. So if we come back here, when we trigger preview render or full render, what's going to happen is it's going to hit the router, go to Airtable, come to this router, and it's going to work its way down to render full video or render the preview. And then it's going to go through here. It's going to gather up all of the scenes. It's going to gather the music, gather everything that it needs to actually render the video. And then from here, it follows one of these tracks depending on the type of template. So if you have a new template, and we'll do it right now actually, we have a new template, so we need to create a new track. So I'll press Shift, I'll drag a box around those, copy modules, Control V to paste, okay, and then I'm going to drag this up to this router, and then we're going to set a filter, and then it's back to this template ID. So we want this track to be followed if the template ID is this. And that's what you're getting from here. So we'll come down here then, click on Creatomate, and we're going to paste in this template ID, and we're going to click refresh, and then that's going to load up any fields that are set as dynamic here. You can see these elements are dynamic. Now, this is going to cause a problem because image-1 is the name for all three, and you'll see here we only have one modification, image-1. But these need to be renamed. They need to be unique names. So image-2 and image-3, let's say. So then we'll come back in here, click refresh again, and now we're going to have, 3 images. Perfect. So then you just delete out what's there because that's basically the IDs of these images. And what you need to do then is, if we come back up here, you'll see what's happening. So we're gathering all of the scenes here in this array aggregator. So if we come back down here, we're just going to open this up. Let me just move this across so you can see it. We're going to open this up, and then you just need to go into your array aggregator and just pick out the URLs of the images. So 1, 2, and 3, and then you need to set the IDs. So the first scene, you're looking for the image URL from the first scene, from the second scene, and from the third scene, and that's it. So if we save that, and now let's come back into Airtable. Let's change our template to this new template. Our test template is there, and then we're going to click Preview Render, generating Preview Render, and that's running. Did that finish? Oh, it just finished, class. And let's come back in here, and then what that does is that creates a new row in the renders table. Top things to do in Cork. It's a preview using our new template now we just created, and let's have a look. And yeah, it's not doing much. It's just the 3 images with that kind of slope zoom out. And then from there, then you could just make changes as you want to the template. So let's add in the audio track, because we did create music for this. So we'll add in audio, we'll set it to dynamic, come back into here, refresh our mapping, and now we can map the music. We'll click on audio, and we have our audio track is there. That's the URL. Perfect. Save that. Let's render it again. And that's generating. And then we can see the new row appear. There's 38. Here's 39. And if we click it, we should have music now. There we go. Let's make one more change. So let's add in text, for example. So you can drag in text. So this Creatomate editor is brilliant. It's not exactly Canva, but you have a huge amount of flexibility. So if you kind of know what you're doing, and that's kind of what I was saying about if you get inspiration from Canva, you can recreate a full visual here. But then that can be automatically and dynamically populated by the system. So let's say you have some text, and then you can make changes to the text. So let's say we want a text background, which is white. You want it centered. There's some great stuff here around dynamic sizing of text. You want to, maybe change the font size and the font color, set it as black. Maybe we'll center it on both axes. And then also we want an exit transition to kind of slide off to the left, for example. And then let's add 3 of these to kind of align to maybe the images. So yeah, it slides up like that and off like that. Up, and then you can always change it as well. Maybe that one slides down, for example. Okay, and then as I mentioned, we need kind of unique names for these. Perfect. And then we need to set them as dynamic. Back to properties, dynamic and dynamic. Great. So that's saved. So we come back in here again, back into our mapping and refresh it. And now we can map the text from the scenes to these placeholders. So text 1, and the text is here, primary text. 1, 2, and 3. So then we click OK to that. Let's just see what's actually set as primary text. Oh yeah, that's just the names. Brilliant. Let's render it and see. Okay, generating the render. Okay, there's 41. Oops. There we go. Discover Cork's Charms. Larney Castle. Fitzgerald Park. You get the idea. So you can just slowly kind of build up a template to the point where you're happy with that template. And then it's just a case of pushing content through it and generating out full renders. So the only difference then between the preview render and the full render, if I click full render here, it's just going to set the scale to be 100% as opposed to 25%. That's the only difference. It's the exact same track. It's still going to go through, the same module here, as you can see. So there we go. There's our full render. Click on that. So now you can see it's much higher resolution. Perfect, yeah. That's great. And as I mentioned, we'll be adding Runway and Kling to this next week. So subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.